Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, I'm in a completely different place right now. To be honest, I'm in a different country. I'm not in Russia, I'm in Mexico City. Honestly, I really like this apartment. I really like the colors, like look at this pretty pink wall behind me, and obviously I have a cactus here. So yeah, this apartment is really Mexican. But today guys, we're going to be talking about reading and about how books can help you improve your English in just a matter of months. So guys, as you probably know, I'm this kind of person who prefers electronic books, so I have this e-reader and I always carry it with me. It's small, it's compact, and this is just something I use. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. If you feel like you prefer real paper books, then just go for it, just read paper books. But I just want to share what I like to use when I read. So I want to start this video by answering this one question that I get asked a lot. Which book is the best for English learners? Guys, to be honest, there's no right answer because there's just so many great books out there. But I can give you 3 tips here that can help you pick up a book that might become your next favorite one. First of all, you should pick a book that interests you. This is like the most important thing. If you feel like this book is boring, don't read it, guys. I know for a lot of people it's a very obvious tip, but sometimes I get stuck in this kind of like rut of reading something that I don't really enjoy reading, like maybe a book that a friend recommended to me, or like a book that has been really popular right now, and everyone is talking about it, right? You are entitled to your own opinions, right? If you don't like this book, just toss it. It's not your favorite one, move on to the next one. Next tip is you should try to read something that you can understand. If you feel like this book is a little bit too hard for you, when you read you have to stop like every 5 seconds because you don't know a word, it means that it's too hard for you, so you shouldn't choose this book. And my next tip here is try to pick a book that is very specific to how you use English. Because for a lot of us, we just need English for work, for example, right? And if you want to improve your business English, maybe you should pick up like a business journal or subscribe to a newsletter, for example. Or if you just want to learn English for fun, then you should pick another kind of literature. But I feel like here I gotta mention one thing. I highly recommend graded readers. And I have a video on my channel where I talked about them a lot. We discussed graded readers with Ollie, and Ollie Richards actually has his own collection of graded readers. Now let's move on to talking about 2 different types of reading. So the first type is intensive reading. Intensive reading is when you read to learn new vocabulary, to learn new grammar. So for example, you see a sentence, you see some of the words you don't know, you will highlight them, you will make sure you know their meaning, you will check the meaning in the dictionary, maybe you will save the words, maybe you will write them down, or even like if you see like a good grammar structure, you will try to remember it. This is intensive reading. And we also have extensive reading. Extensive reading is practically when you read for fun, when you don't stop to look up a word, when you just read and enjoy the process. And I feel like the method that helped me to learn English faster and then to gradually start reading faster is combining those 2 methods. So you should read extensively, but try to highlight new words or new grammar structures that you want to memorize. If you're like me and you're using a Kindle or like any e-reader, there's like a highlighting option there, or if you're using like your phone or your iPad, you can also highlight words and grammar structures there as well. Here, when you're highlighting, you don't need to look anything up. Just highlight the phrases. For example, you're reading a sentence and there is a word you don't know, just highlight it. That's it. The second thing you should do is keep on reading. For example, you have a goal. You need to read this page or you need to finish this chapter. So keep on reading. Don't stop. And the third step here is once you finish this chapter or this page, only then can you go back and look up all the unknown words, all the new words, all the new grammar structures. And so here, like a bonus tip you can do that I think is going to help a lot of you guys, but also requires even more work if you're ready for it, is importing all of those new words and grammar structures and even sentences into a spaced repetition app. This way you'll be able to create digital flashcards, and this is exactly what we need, because the spaced repetition technique helps you to memorize new words faster and in a more efficient way. The best example here is the app Anki. I used this application for a very long time when I first started to learn Chinese, and right now that I'm learning Spanish, I'm starting to use it again because it's just so beneficial on these like first steps towards your language journey. Now let me just talk about the books in general and where you can actually find great recommendations. So the website that I absolutely love is called Goodreads. They have a great collection of books that are like rated, you know, people give them reviews, and I also really love their Choice Awards. So Choice Awards is practically a place where you can see all the best books of a certain year. For example, right now you can see like the best books of 2021. And guys, to be honest, I've already read a lot of the books on that list because I just use Goodreads all the time for book recommendations. And another thing that I love about them is that it's a community of book lovers. So you can leave reviews, you can chat with other people, just like a perfect place for bookworms. And now let me just recommend a couple of books for you if you're just starting to tap into this reading world and are not sure yet if you actually like reading or if your English is good enough to read a real book. So the first book that I would like to recommend is called Charlotte's Web. It's a very, very famous children's book, but the language there is really easy. You know, guys, in a lot of children's books, the language is often pretty weird, and especially for non-native speakers, it might be really challenging, but it's not true about this book. Something that's also really great is that this book is part of the national curriculum, and you can be sure that this book might come up in conversations, and a lot of native speakers in general have read this book as kids. The second book that I would like to recommend is called The House on the Mango Tree. One thing that I can say about this book is that it's an extremely interesting read. You can feel all the emotions that the protagonist feels, and I feel like this just brings you closer to the writer. The sentences in this book are generally really short, and although there are certain words and phrases that you might not know, this book is still a really good read because you're learning more about the new culture and I don't know, like a great book in general. I highly recommend it. Next book that might be a little bit more difficult is 13 Reasons Why. First of all, this book is a little bit sad and depressing, so if you're ready for this kind of read, this book will not disappoint you. This book also deals with a lot of pretty heavy issues, so if you're planning on going on vacation and reading this book there, maybe it's not the best choice. But I love this book again because the sentences are pretty short and the vocabulary is not that hard, and also because this book is on the New York Times best books list. The next book is a famous classic, The Old Man and the Sea. Great thing about this book is again because a lot of native speakers read this book before, and this is something you can talk about with them because it was again part of their school curriculum, and also because it's just a really famous book. Maybe some of the sentences are going to be a little bit more difficult because again it's an old classic and maybe some of the words are going to be pretty challenging, but again this book is short and nice, and I'm sure you won't have a lot of trouble finishing it. And the last book I wanted to mention here is Peter Pan. The reason why I included this book here is I feel like because even if you're a non-native speaker, and if you're watching this video you are probably a non-native speaker, you have read Peter Pan before because it's just such a famous children's book. I have definitely read it in my native language when I was a kid, and I also reread it later in life in English. So here I guess I could give you one more tip. If you can read a book in English that you have already read in your native language, that would be even better because this way you're already familiar with all the characters, you're familiar with the plot, and you already know that you like this book, right? So this way you're setting yourself up for success. And I feel like Peter Pan is a great book to start with. Maybe some of you are gonna ask me about Harry Potter. I think even though so many people have read Harry Potter in their native languages, I still think in English it's more difficult than all the other books I've just mentioned here, but again, it's my opinion, that's what I think. So yeah guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope it was useful. Again guys, if you're interested in my Mexico journey, if you wanna follow my life here, make sure to subscribe to my vlog channel. It's just Veronika Mark, my name. I will be publishing a vlog from Mexico City very soon in just a few days, and then later I will be publishing more and more vlogs. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram because there I share my everyday life with you. If you want to get a script for this video, make sure to join me here on YouTube by clicking this join button, or you can also go on my Patreon page and pick a membership there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!